members of the media and everyone joining us through the live stream this afternoon. I take this opportunity to welcome the Minister for Finance, Commerce and Business Development, Honorable Esrom Immanuel, and FCCC Chief Executive Officer, Ms. Senikavika Jiuta. I now invite the FCCC CEO to deliver her statement.
Thank you, Farzana. Good afternoon, everyone. Misambula Vinaka, and good afternoon to you all. Ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon, I have the privilege of accompanying the Honorable Minister of Finance, Commerce and Business Development, the Honorable Minister Esrom Immanuel, to address the nation on two important matters that directly affect the everyday lives of Fijians across the country. The first concerns the review of the application by Energy Fiji Limited for an adjustment to the electricity fuel surcharge. The second relates to the review of bus fares for operators throughout Fiji. These are decisions that impact families, businesses, workers, students, and commuters alike. I want to assure all Fijians that the Fijian Competition and Consumer Commission approach both reviews with great care, diligence, and responsibility. Let me begin with electricity. On 13 April 2026, the Energy Fiji Limited submitted an application to FCCC seeking an 11 cents per kilowatt hour through a fuel surcharge adjustment. EFL advised that the application was necessary due to the continued rise in global fuel prices and the increasing costs of purchasing industrial diesel oil and heavy fuel oil required to generate electricity across Fiji. Both these commodities are not regulated fuels in Fiji. As many Fijians are aware, Fiji still relies significantly on imported fuel for electricity generation. Ongoing global instability and geopolitical tensions continue to place pressure on international fuel markets, making prices highly volatile and unpredictable. EFL further advised that without some level of fuel cost recovery, the ability to maintain a reliable and stable electricity supply throughout the country would become increasingly challenging. Upon receiving the application, a comprehensive and rigorous assessment process was undertaken. Our teams carefully reviewed EFL's financial submissions, fuel procurement data, operational costs, cash flow, electricity generation requirements, and projected impacts. We assessed whether the proposed increase was justified, necessary, and reasonable under the current circumstances. Most importantly, FCCC also took into consideration the overall impact any increase would have on ordinary Fijians, households, and businesses who are already managing the pressures of cost of living and higher operational expenses. Following this detailed review, FCCC has made its determination. An interim fuel surcharge adjustment of 5.91 cents per kilowatt hour will take effect from 26 May 2026. This interim adjustment will apply across all customer categories: domestic, commercial, and industrial. For domestic customers currently paying approximately 34 cents per kilowatt hour, electricity rates will increase to approximately 39 cents per kilowatt hour. A household currently receiving a monthly bill of around $68 can expect an increase of approximately $11.82. For commercial customers currently paying approximately 40 cents per kilowatt hour, rates will increase to approximately 46 cents per kilowatt hour. A business with a monthly electricity bill of approximately $2,049 may see an increase of around $295. It is important to emphasize that this is an interim measure. This decision reflects the careful balance FCCC has to strike between protecting consumers from excessive costs while also ensuring Fiji continues to have reliable and sustainable electricity supply, which ensures continued economic growth. At this point, I also wish to acknowledge and thank the Fijian government for its continued support measures during this difficult time. FCCC will continue to closely monitor global fuel prices, EFL's operational costs, and the overall impact on consumers and businesses. We remain committed to ensuring that any future pricing adjustments are fair, justified, transparent, and in the best interest of the Fijian people. Let me now turn to the second matter, bus fares. Following our review, FCCC has also approved an interim adjustment to bus fares in response to the continued increase in fuel and operational costs being faced by bus operators throughout the country. Bus fares will increase by 22.5%, effective from the 26th of May, 2026. To put this into perspective for commuters, the current stage 1 bus fare of $1.02 will increase to approximately $1.25, an increase of 23 cents. For commuters traveling on stage 46 routes, the current fare of $27.16 will increase to approximately $33.27, an increase of approximately $6. FCCC recognizes that these adjustments will place added pressure on many households and businesses. However, these decisions were not taken lightly. Fiji, like many other small island developing states, continues to face the effects of global economic uncertainty, rising international fuel prices, and ongoing geopolitical tensions beyond our shores. While these challenges originate overseas, their impacts are being felt here at home. So to conclude, FCCC remains fully committed to protecting consumers while also ensuring that essential services such as electricity and public transport continue operating reliably across the country. Every decision we make is guided by fairness, evidence, transparency, and the long-term well-being of the Fijian people.
Thank you, Madam CEO. And now I would like to invite Minister for Finance, Commerce and Business Development, Honorable Esrom Immanuel.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen of beloved people of our country, the impact of this global fuel crisis on Fiji is intensifying as rising fuel costs place enormous pressure on critical services providers like Energy Fiji Limited, Fiji Airways, bus operators, fuel importers, and other fuel-dependent entities. However, these services are critical, and any major disruptions to these services will have severe consequences for businesses, household, jobs, public finances, national security, and the wider economy. Such disruption has to be avoided at any cost. And FCCC, our independent price regulator, has made a formal determination of a 22.5% increase in bus fares and approved an interim fuel surcharge of 5.91 cents per kilowatt hour for Energy Fiji Limited. This increase was important to ensure electricity supply and its security as well, and continuity of bus services. However, as highlighted by the Honorable Prime Minister this morning, during this crisis, the coalition government stands committed to protecting our people, protecting our businesses, and the broader economy. Nonetheless, given the unprecedented scale of this crisis and the uncertainty surrounding on how long this may continue, we must act prudently. Government response has to be targeted, fiscally responsible, and focusing on protecting the most vulnerable. While protecting our people, we must remain within our financial means. We started by protecting our 180,000 social welfare recipients with a 50% increase in their monthly allowance from May 2026 at an additional cost of $24 million. We also extended duty-free fuel concession to Energy Fiji Limited, the bus operators and inter-island shipping providers to help ease the cost pressure faced on these critical services. In addition, government has supported Fiji Airways through relief on certain fees and charges, together with government assurance that the national airline will be protected during this crisis. And ladies and gentlemen, following Cabinet's approval, I wish to announce that government will also fully absorb the 22.5% increase in bus fares announced by FCCC, on top of the existing 10% bus fare subsidy that existed before. What this means is that none of the approximately 350,000 Fijians who rely on bus transport, including students using blue and yellow cards, as well as adults using red card, will pay an additional bus fare despite the increase in fares. Government will fully absorb the 22.5% increase at an additional fiscal cost of $2 million per month. For all rural service license providers, or RSL, and boat operators providing transportations to students, government will also support with additional vouchers to cater for the increase in their fuel cost. The Ministry of Education will work together with these operators to ensure continued transportation services for students and cost recovery for the service providers. For those receiving social welfare, that includes transport support. We have already increased the transport allowance by an additional 50% per month. And with respect to the fuel surcharge of 5.91 cents per kilowatt hour, government has decided to fully absorb this additional cost for all subsidized electricity users with household incomes below 30,000 per year. So this will come at an estimated additional cost of around $4 million annually. Currently, more than 50,000 domestic electricity customers receive electricity at a subsidized tariff of 17.67 cents per kilowatt hour, and that is lower than the normal residential tariff of 34.01 cents per kilowatt hour, and at an annual cost of approximately $10 million to government. So no one of these customers will bear an additional cost. We will also expand the subsidy of 5.91 cents per kilowatt hour to all MSMEs that have an annual income turnover of less than 30,000. For residential customers with household income above 30,000, as well as commercial and industrial customers, Energy Fiji Limited will pass on the fuel surcharge. And ladies and gentlemen, as I stated earlier, government is taking a prudent and targeted approach by directing support to those earning below 30,000 annually. And the burden of this crisis will have to be shared, and government stand ready to do its part. Government will continue to protect the vulnerable, the critical service providers, as well as the key sectors of the economy, while in some areas, higher cost will inevitably need to be borne by businesses and consumers. However, I wish to emphasize that energy security remains critical, and during this war-induced fuel price crisis, we are faced with difficult choices. We must choose between high electricity prices or the risk of electricity shortages and disruptions, which will be much more costly and painful. And ladies and gentlemen, government has commenced preparation for the 2026-2027 national budget, which will be focused on supporting our people and ensuring economic stability and security, ensure continuation of critical public services, and focus on fiscal prudence and reforms to support business development as well as economic growth. Government has already started with a range of cost-cutting measures, including a 20% reduction for all parliamentarians and ministers, and there is currently a freeze on new hiring with the civil service. And the use of government motor vehicle is being strictly monitored or controlled, while travel, workshops, conferences, and other operational expenses are being reduced. The Honorable Prime Minister this morning announced that the municipal elections will be deferred after the general election to prioritize public spending. At the same time, we are securing additional financing support from our development partners. Australia has committed to budget support of Australian dollar 30 million, while New Zealand will provide New Zealand dollars 8.5 million in budget support. We expect to receive these funds in the next few weeks. And the Ministry of Finance is also engaging with the multilateral development institutions, including the World Bank, Asian Development Bank, and the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, to secure additional financing for the next financial year. In addition, government is working closely with the domestic financiers, including FNPF and other institutional investors, to mobilize further financing support for the upcoming budget. And ladies and gentlemen, as we announce the new budget on the 26th of next month, we will announce more support measures to protect our people, to protect our businesses and the economy. We are exploring options on reducing the taxes on fuel, providing relief to businesses and workers with a reduction in FNPF rates, providing working capital support and concessional financing for businesses through the Reserve Bank of Fiji and other financial institutions. Also, we're looking at relaxed tax payment arrangements to provide cash flow relief for taxpayers, as well as tax incentives for businesses that rely heavily on fuel. Also, we're looking at financial package to support the tourism industry and the income support measures for our people. And ladies and gentlemen, as the Honorable Prime Minister highlighted earlier this morning, the coalition government stands ready to support our people during this time of crisis. Naka, and thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Now we are going to open the floor for questions. Please be mindful to introduce yourself and your organization before asking the questions.
Esrom from Fijian News. Ms. Senikavika, just in regards to the electricity surcharge, will this be part of like a specific time frame when the tensions in the Middle East fades away, or will it continue on?
No, so thank you for your question. So this is only for a specific time frame. It's only during these geopolitical tensions, and whether it's going to be on a monthly basis or for the next 3 months, that is what FCCC is going to continue to monitor. Yes.
Will this be the same for the bus fare increase?
Bus fare increase, well, yes, it's on a monthly basis. As you all know, that the fuel prices continue to increase on a monthly basis. So we will also have to factor that in. But come June, we can't speculate at this time.
That means that we are expecting an increase in the next month after
Most
June?
probably, yes.
Thank you.
So we are from Fijian Village. With the deferment of the local government elections, what exactly will the $18 million be used for?
Actually, for this financial year, we've budgeted for around 5 million, which we have provided. We haven't provided a budget for the election next year. However, the decision on the election is for deferment. So we'll still have the election.
And the $18 million?
That will be allocated in the next budget, and the election will hopefully will be undertaken in the next financial year as well.
Lavinia with given the increasing tariff that's been announced, we do know that EFL talked about implementing tuition loading. So given that this is half of what they asked for, does this still then guarantee none of that? Will there be blackout still, or will there be how long rationing still from June 1st?
I can answer first.
Yeah.
So for rationing, well, this 5.91 cents should be able to cushion and assist them with their cash flow during this time. But we hope that EFL will not do load sharing as of this weekend or next weekend, but they should be able to assist them.
Minister Priya from Fiji Village again. Will we have a mini budget?
Currently, there's no confirmation of that.
Joe from FBC. So could you just, reaffirm or clarify exactly where the funds for, the efforts from the government regarding subsidizing all this support, where is, the funding coming from, or where are we getting those funding to subsidize for these efforts?
Yeah, you will be aware that the previous month we carry out some what we call redeployment. So we're moving funds from some areas to priorities areas, including mitigation measures.
So would this also include the, the announcement of the funds that were initially allocated for the local government elections? Is this being used to the funds that was allocated being diverted to this as well? Are we using a portion of that in this support?
No, that will be done in the next financial year.
Alright, so.
Okay, one last question, please.
Current from Fijian, you mentioned the cost of living crisis, and now with this, would government, consider increasing the minimum wage to help cushion the impacts also?
Yes, that has been discussed, but there needs to be a review done for that.
I think if I may, with the Honourable Minister's announcement, he has actually touched on, there's a probability, there's a might or might not, so.
Sorry, just final question for me. Sorry, pulling up again, Ms. Jiuta. Can we just get a guarantee from FCCC that the current price control and market monitoring systems would actually protect ordinary Fijians, especially those in rural and low-lying areas?
Sorry, is this for all the basic items or
Basic
we're talking about
items.
electricity?
Everything on the line, ma'am.
Yes, of course. Price control on its own is a cushioning impact for all Fijians, whether it's during a crisis or during normal times. The price control comes into place for that. But yes, our teams are out on the ground. They're out on the ground on a weekly basis. We're monitoring all this. Apart from fuel, we're also monitoring freight costs, even fertilizer costs as well, because we know it's going to have a trickle-down impact on our basic cost of living. So yes, our team are actually looking into it.
Madam, Rosalie, yes. Just a question. You mentioned a raise in bus fares. What about vans and taxis?
Well, for now, because the bus industry have put in a submission as per their request, they've requested ever since April. So they put in their request, we've considered, and that is what the government is fully absorbing. But for the taxi industry and also the minibus, we haven't received specifically from minibus. For taxi industry, we're currently assessing. Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
There's one last one.
What
Yes.
is the contingency then? So if fuel price increases
For the government?
to the
Well, I think that these geopolitical tensions, again, we have no control over Trump and anything that's happening in the Iranian war. No, I mean, we're all facing these as small island states because of what's happening there. So we have to be quite, critical of these factors. But we are monitoring. I think the government is doing a great job in terms of subsidizing, absorbing costs, but also as a regulator, we also have to monitor what's happening internationally in all these price movements. So our role here is to ensure that the pass-on costs to you consumers are not too significant. Yes.
So last one for
And
Immanuel.
Sorry.
I just want to comment on that question. As I mentioned, government will look into further measures once there's probably any more determination in the future.
So can the government give a ballpark figure on how much has already been spent on this program for elections awareness campaign?
My knowledge around 4 million, over 4 million.
So you also mentioned that you'll be seeking help from FNPF, like how much will be the assisting with the money? Like you mentioned with stakeholders and partners, FNPF you also mentioned how much will be the contribution.
Or that will be determined by FNPF independently.
Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you for coming this afternoon.